This car is available only with the sedan body. Due to the relatively wide choice of equipment options, some people prefer the Nexia to the more fresh Daewoo Lanos. There are two basic versions, GL and GLE. The richer one is distinguished by the presence of a hydraulic booster, a tachometer, and power windows. Air conditioning can be installed in both configurations. Engines, gasoline 1.5 liters, 8-valve, 75 horsepower, or 16-valve, 85 horsepower. Daewoo Motors, for which it was the first worldwide car, saved yesterday's Opel from the main disease, poor corrosion resistance. The body of the Nexia is not galvanized, but is well protected by phosphating. Rust can only be found on beaten or very old cars, on the edges of doors, wing flanging. Coloring is strong, but shagreen is noticeable on many surfaces. Problematic points are door mechanisms, locks and power windows, primarily with an electric drive. Therefore, door mechanics need to be lubricated regularly. Noise isolation compared to the Korean Nexia is very mediocre. The salon, by today's standards, is cramped, especially the low roof presses, and there is not enough space for the legs of the rear passengers. The low and narrow opening makes it difficult to get into the rear seat, which, however, is comfortable due to the successful positioning of the cushion and backrest. The driver's seat is well designed, good visibility. Torpedo, archaic both in form and texture, begins to creak over time and requires additional sizing. Both engines, which were equipped with Nexia II until June 2008, are licensed copies of Opel engines. They differ only in the cylinder heads. The 75 horsepower one has an 8-valve single shaft, SOHC, and the 85 horsepower unit has 16 valves driven by a pair of camshafts, DOHC. Even with the simple 8-valve engine, the car is alive, willingly responding to pressing the accelerator in any rev range. A more powerful motor spins even more fun on the tops, but less pulling below. A Daewoo family feature, and Nexia is no exception, is the ability to switch engine settings to work on different gasolines, from A76 to AI95. To do this, rearrange the jumpers in the terminal block. Both power units cannot be called gluttons. They consume 5.5 to 9.0 L/100 kilometers. The resource of both engines before overhaul is about 300,000 kilometers. Valve stem seals can age much earlier, which increases oil consumption. Another way to lose it is typically Opel's, leaks through the valve cover, which are eliminated only by replacing the gasket. Durable hydraulic lifters are responsible for valve clearances, and the pump must be changed along with the timing belt every 60,000 kilometers. It walks up to 100,000 kilometers, but with its help a belt is tensioned, which can break when the pump is jammed, and then, at high speeds, the pistons can meet the valves. Sometimes parts of the electrical equipment of motors cause trouble. Sensors, ignition coil, distributor, 48V, fail. Today it is almost impossible to find a Nexia with an automatic transmission, and you should not do this either. Problems with service and spare parts are guaranteed. The 5-speed mechanics is durable. The occurring oil leakage through the shift shaft seal does not threaten a rapid loss of oil, which is officially considered eternal. But the wings after 150,000 kilometers will require repair or replacement. The clutch serves 180 to 200,000 kilometers. Its hydraulic drive is also reliable. On the oldest machines, you can also find a clutch cable drive. The condition for reliability is the correct laying of the cable. The driven disc can be changed without dismantling the gearbox. External CV joints walk up to 150,000 kilometers, and our consultants could not remember cases of replacing internal ones. The chassis is set up more for comfort than for high-speed driving, although even at cruising 130 to 140 kilometers/h the car does not walk along the road. However, the combination of rather long travel and soft springs results in significant body roll in corners. Most domestic Nexia bumps pass without suspension breakdowns, although thuds are reminiscent of danger. But this does not affect durability. Even the front stabilizer struts can easily last up to 100,000 kilometers, as well as ball bearings and silent blocks. The latter, by the way, do not like hard encounters with pits, which significantly shorten their life. Synchronously with these parts, all shock absorbers age. The weak point of the back is typical for all relatives of Opel, barrel-shaped springs with a progressive characteristic. Quite often they break, and not only due to overload. The breakdown of the extreme turn, which the owner does not immediately notice, is very insidious. Silent blocks of the rear beam, as a rule, live for at least 100,000 kilometers. The anti-roll bar built into it does not require attention. The bearings of the front hubs run up to 150,000 kilometers. The resource of the rear, conical ones, depends on how carefully they were regulated. All consumables of the running gear are replaced separately, and tuning parts can be selected. Stiffer gas shock absorbers improve cornering stability, and Daewoo Aspero rear springs better maintain the posture of the car when the trunk is fully loaded. The steering wheel of the Nexia is quite sharp, not heavy even in the version without power steering. The steering linkage rack and pivots are high for added durability. However, after 70 to 90,000 kilometers, the rod ends usually have to be changed. After 150,000 kilometers, you can expect the first troubles from the rail. In particular, fluid leaks through the shaft seal, with power steering knocking. Non-original parts are commercially available, but due to wear on the shaft, replacing the stuffing box does not always eliminate the leak. Therefore, many people prefer to simply add liquid. The diseases include the easily eliminated knock of the steering shaft, which occurs due to wear on the bearings. The Nexia's brakes are grippy and take getting used to by reserve drivers. If calipers turn sour in the front-wheel mechanisms of cars produced before 2003, then this problem has been removed on later ones. This unit has been replaced with a similar one from Lanos. Rear mechanisms require preventive cleaning. In fact, this rather outdated car is at the level of its younger competitors, Russian, Chinese, Korean classmates. He is chosen because he is different, not so familiar, and he usually justifies the expectations of his unambitious owners.